Hi, once again, we welcome you back to this discussion. Yeah, so the topic still remains the same, co-parenting and having co-parenting when you're a parent or an ex that has a child with your former spouse. Yes, that is still our main topic of discussion. I know we've gone around boundaries.
Also, a partner, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yes,
Yeah.
all that.
Alright.
As long as you're a parent and you're an ex, yeah, and your former spouse or your friend or your boyfriend moved on, and you still have their child, or you moved on with the child to your marriage, yeah, all that category is captured in there. Yeah, thank you, George, for that. So yeah, so that is still our topic. We started it very well. We had communication, having an open communication, boundaries, having, how you can support the other spouse, whether or not you're allowed to how far can you go when you're communicating with the parent, with your fellow parent, okay, or your co-parent in this case. Yeah, a lot has been said, but right before we went for a break, we found it important that some of the audience gets to know some of the legal aspects really of this topic, all right? Yeah, so by and large, it's important to note that the welfare principle is always paramount. Yes. What is welfare principle? It's just a principle. In simple terms, anything to do with where there is a child in any contentious situation that has a child involved, okay? It's always important to always note that you must uphold or ensure that the child's welfare is respected. Yeah, part of the child's welfare as a must, like this one is unquestionable. Yeah, you must and you shall have to provide for them shelter, you provide food for them, okay? You have to provide basic necessities which involve education, yeah, and scholastic materials, all that comes along with it, all right? It is your duty, whether or not you're working, whether or not you're the ex-partner who has the child, you're in that category we've discussed already. It's important to know that in all that you do, all these things must be provided for this child. They need to be happy. You take them out to have recreational activities that they do. They need to be physically fit, Everything that surrounds the welfare of a child must always be provided, whether you have it or not.
That was going to be my question, but
Then,
whether you have it or not. So, how is that? If you cannot.
when it comes to children, we usually don't look at if you cannot. That is why you co-parent. If he has, you don't have. You have to communicate and tell him, look here, we don't have food today, and he will provide. If she has, and you're the baby daddy, yeah, well, she's well placed, her businesses are running well, and you're really cash strapped because you have a family and you have her on the side and your child, you can also ask her. See, that is how you tag team in co-parenting, right? Yeah, so first and foremost, the welfare principle is always paramount here. Secondly, there was an issue as to, when we know some parents who they think it's an easy way out to bring the child, yeah, into your home, yeah, the baby who is on the side, or the child who was born outside, whether before or out of your marriage, you want to bring them and take care of them in your home, yeah. There's some factors that you need to note. It's important to note that usually, I know there are situations where we determine that on a case-by-case basis, but it's always preferred that if it's a girl child, they should be raised by their mother, yeah. If it's a boy child, the preference still says that it's raised with their mother. Why? If it's a child of tender age, a child who is below 14 years, that's tender age. It's a very sensitive time where the mother's probably, I don't want to say maternal instinct, but the mother will care more for such a child, but she still cannot do it alone. That is why she can then have to reach out to the father of the child, all right? So she also equally, ladies, don't take the back seat here, okay? Make sure you also try within your means, yeah? Make whatever effort to see that you can provide something for this child of tender years. Or else, if you're not able to do that, trust you me, he can always come and take it to a court and have have the custody of your child taken away from you if you're not able to be responsible and take care of this child, yet he has all the money, all the social cycle support, he can provide all these basic necessities, like I said, and vice versa. All right, yeah. So dear baby daddies as well, if you're not able to take full responsibility and take care of this child, equally the custody of the child can be taken away from you and given to the mother or the child. Okay, so be very careful as a parent. Be responsible. Do not drink and come home drunk and you're not able to relate to your children. Don't live extravagant lives and fail to provide bare necessities for your children. Both the children within your home, any child that you have fathered, let's just say that. Any child you have fathered in every corner of this world, okay? Or you have mothered in every corner of this world. It goes also to the ladies. I see many of us go astray. We like to go and party so hard. And we forget to come back home. We come back late, you haven't left food at home. The child is missing school, you're always getting letters from the school headmasters and headmistresses. They're telling you, your child has absconded from school and blah, 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 and therefore performance is affected, okay? Remember, the future of this child depends on both of you, okay? So set aside your differences, like Joshua said. Set aside your differences and ensure that you provide for this child.
I said that as well.
Yeah, so thank you. So I hope I've responded to just in simple English I needed us to understand some of the legalities of it, okay? Yeah, so over to you, Ronald.
Before Ronald, there's something I posed there.
Take it away.
I posed a question of, if you cannot. Now, men, let's not just take a seat back, go someone and say you cannot. As we all know that this is Africa.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else is watching from, but as an African man, that is definitely your responsibility to make sure that your family is catered for. So let's just not say, oh, I can't afford that, I know that. No, as long as you're living, you have to make sure that you provide for your family. So guys out there with baby mamas or whatever, and like I said, we're not supposed to be the part of the drama. Actually, as men were supposed to be the ones who are trying to make the family work. And I keep saying that, and I know for sure that men who are actually making this difficult for their baby mamas. So let's not just say, oh, it's only women. No, it's not true. Men have done this, and we know some of them are our friends, and we try to advise them. So let's just be men, and that's why we're called men, and we're the head of the family at the end of the day. So let's not, if you can't, yes, I'm sure that the person you're co-parenting with should be able to understand that, should be, but like she said, you don't just go there and drink, have bottles, and then you come back and say you can't afford to buy sugar or make sure that your child goes back to school. So let's not be lazy. I'm not saying this in a bad heart, but as men, we have to be men. Doesn't matter which generation it is, we still have to go ahead and take care of our families. So there you go. So now,
just a minute.
Yes, Dr. Doris.
I think Liz would correct me if I'm wrong. In an event, I think you're supposed to declare your finances in case you've gotten to that extent whereby usually I think there's a family court, and then you need to declare your finances, and then they need to know exactly what you're doing, and so they evaluate how much probably you're earning for you to say you actually can take care of a family. Yeah. Before it's like you're saying, what if you can't take care? They need to evaluate that. And there are people who are competent enough to evaluate that and also hear from here and there to really believe that can't, to believe that can't happen. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. So
back to Ronald. Well, I agree. It's our responsibility as men to be the head of the family. It's an African story. Long and we're not here to fight that. Though, let's not throw away the fact that ladies take advantage of this. How many men out there have succumbed to ladies, baby mamas, who are very, say, lazy, they're not business centered, they are not innovative, they cannot struggle, let me say. They are looking at this child to be the pivot of their life. They will use it to break your family. They will use it to break you they will use this child to get financial aid from you, no matter what comes. I've seen relationships where someone has got a baby mama, and that baby mama, okay, is living a very lavish life. She loves to stay at their apartments. She wants to choose which schools the kids can go to, or her kid will go to. She doesn't work at all, okay? She doesn't run a business. She doesn't contribute to the welfare of the child. All she does is to demand for that from the husband. And she will make it hell for the wife, the incumbent wife, and the relationship that the gentleman is having will be at stake, because she has to come in every single time with these issues about this. And sometimes it's not just the child's affairs. You'll find it is her affairs involved. Okay? Things like our emotional life, our misfortunes. Okay? She has not succeeded in making business work. She never went to school, probably qualified for some jobs. She's not had the best paying job. Now it becomes the job of this gentleman. All this pressure that men come into. And this has forced men sometimes to just disengage this whole relationship. I've seen people who have decided to go that direction and choose to say, no, not my child, and I'm not having anything to do with this. Okay? Sometimes it will go to court, and sometimes the guy will disappear. I'm not advocating for men who actually disband their children. No, we all are supposed to be responsible for our children. But but there are women who will take advantage of this, given we understand and we take the responsibility to take care of these children. Let the women also take their responsibility. If you have moved on to another relationship, I expect that relationship also to have something to do with this child, because it's also your child. That child could fit into your family as well. Okay? If that man also is unreasonable and says, no, your child, who you had with the other man, could not be here, I'm welcome to have that child back in the house. Okay, that is reasonable. But that child can't be caught in the middle of my family and your new family. Or that child can't be used as bait for me to extend even resources I don't. That was my view for the ladies of this generation. I'm not talking of all the ladies. I understand all the ladies out there. You're responsible, you're hardworking, you're the mothers of the nation. You won't give up on the children, that is good. Some of you are out there to disdain our future. Just because now I've had a child with you, I can't have a happy marriage. Okay? Just because I've had a child with you, that child will never have fun. Or the future of that child is at stake. And just because I've had a child with you, my financial independence, my financial success is at stake. Okay? It doesn't mean you have stake in all my wealth. I don't have to write you in my will. Or make sure that this child has the biggest share, because it's unfortunate, but I have to be considerate. All that depends on how we discuss this in the beginning. I don't know. I can hand over to Josh as well to have his opinion.
Before Joshua chips in, I just want to make a call to action, ladies. Whatever Moga has talked about, for me, is touching me a certain special kind of way. I'm like, guys, please, ladies out there, don't misrepresent us. Really, please, if you notice someone is being as supportive, just, be as proactive. If he's offering some money for you to do something, please use this money for the right purpose. Come out there, show your strength as a woman, just so you don't spoil it for everyone. There's some men that are actually good and are willing to support their baby mamas. But unfortunately, because they're hearing stories from their friends, they're seeing maybe their friends' baby mamas doing exactly the contrary to what they expect when they offer some support. That way you're spoiling it for everyone else. Please, let's tape up, let's take a lead and see that whenever they offer us some support, we are happy to use it and put our heads high so that we walk out of these relationships all we show them that we're actually up to something good, but also to support the kids that we've fathered or mothered with these partners of ours. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Morga and Doreen. My opinion on what Morga had said, especially, I believe that to some extent it is a two-way, flows in two-way. Sometimes we, the men, tend to cause these ladies to behave the way they behave. Sometimes the lady does not want to do something, but you, the man, keeps encouraging her to do what she does. Perhaps you do not want to provide for the child unless she calls you. You do not want to play your role, your duties as a man for your child, as a father for your child. You do not want to play your roles and duties unless somebody actually pokes you. Not that the lady should actually first poke you, but sometimes we also don't seem to read the situation and understand that maybe this lady is not in position to provide what is needed, is not in position to take this child to school or to buy a shirt for this child. So in such a case, you find yourself in a situation where you're being poked and pestered and pushed for something that they shouldn't really be doing that. But also, like Doreen has said, most of these ladies, okay, they tend to be reluctant to work. They tend to be relaxed. They tend to sit back and fail to move on with life. To know that life is actually a hassle. Life is meant to be worked out and earn something. Nothing will come on a silver platter. So because of that, they end up looking at this previous sweetheart as the source of well-being, and the password is always the child. And when it becomes the child and it goes on and on and on, some men tend to even withdraw from these children. They tend to find a man hating his own child because of the mother, not because the child did anything to him, but because when he hears the name of that child, he knows trouble. He knows somebody wants me to pay an apartment of this much, yet I actually can afford this, So you find somebody is actually avoiding the child because of what comes along with that child, which is not good. So in short, I'm trying to say we the men, we should play our roles so that we avoid these occurrences. We try not to encourage the baby mamas to behave that way, and also, like Doreen said, to make sure that these ladies also get to understand that after if I can call it a breakup, or after getting this child with a man who is not going to be your husband and who you have parted ways with, you need to work hard. You need to get your own self back. You need to move on as a person. If you're getting a new husband, you get a new husband. And maybe before I leave, before I stop this round of talk, I want to knock on one point. Even as the men, when we marry these ladies with kids, okay, we should be that absent father in their lives. We need to be that absent father, because this will encourage our wives, assuming they came with that kid, it will encourage them to actually stop poking the other man, the father of that child. It will encourage them to stop running after that gentleman who is the father, the rightful father of the child. is that actually even when that man is not around, even when you don't talk to that man, everything is okay for your child. Everything is okay for this child who is now part of our family. So it is a way of breaking that gap so that we stop, we prevent what would go wrong. Because if you're not providing for this kid, then trust me, if your wife is not working, but she has her own money, she may end up running after the father. That's all.
Thank you for your submission.
Yeah.
I guess we're in closing remarks.
Yes, but
Yeah.
before we get to that, there's two things, and Josh, you just mentioned this even at the beginning. A child is just a gift. It's just from God. So it doesn't matter where that child comes from. The fact that, let's say you're married that baby mama now, or you're not married, you're married to her. Yes, you're married to a baby mama of someone else. You know, she comes with a baby in your home, a child. I think it's wrong as a man if you cannot take care of that child. Because at the end of the day, that child is actually your child. He or she lives under your roof. So I think we also need then man up and just, if you can, you don't have to let your wife really go from the baby daddy because of something that you can afford. If you can afford it, give it to that child. At the end of the day, that child, the difference is just that he or she is not your biological child, but he or she stays with you. So that's basically, you have to be a father. And it's wrong if you cannot father someone's child that stays with you, because what are you going to do with your children? You know. So people need to step up. Now the other thing I want to go back on is just baby mama eating off their child. Let's give them that child. There's a time when she was a sweetheart. You know. I mean, let her not dictate on what you give, but if she asks for 100 and you give her 150, that's fair enough. You know, as long as she's not forcing you to do that. Yes, they need to work, but also as men, we need to take care of those children. And they also have the right to eat of those children, whatever we're giving them. So, to me, I still say, man, let's man up, let's do our part. Let's not be forced. It's not good to be forced. Usually for me, actually, when people force me to do things, I actually don't do them at all. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I like when I have to do things when someone tells me, you know, and if I can, I will. So I think we, the new generation of men, and I don't want to get off this topic, but I think we've been a bit lazy, whereby we also, like, we have to buy. So like, I think she can afford that. If you can afford it, don't let your baby mama, let her money she can use that money for something else, for her own, you know, benefit. Just concentrate on what you're doing as a father, as a man, to take care of your children or your child that you had out of, you know, the marriage. Back to you.
Maybe just to come in, you talked of something. I think you skipped something. There is a category of men who will abandon that relationship because the child was unwanted in the first place, and the lady maybe decided to take the decision to have that baby. This is a very big
To have the baby, to keep the
to
baby.
keep the baby and have the baby and keep the baby. This is a very fundamental issue on how we come up with single mother. Okay? Somehow, one of us, the dads, gives up that responsibility to choose either to become a runaway dad, okay? Or you become the irresponsible dad. Or you declare yourself the incapable dad to take care of these children. Okay, so most of the baby mamas then have to take on this responsibility, take care of these kids, be the dad and mom at the same time because of the runaway dad. So let's fight so hard, and this is something that we should do up from our early childhood to our youth of today and to our young men, you know, to understand the repercussions for all these actions. And when you get someone pregnant, then here it is, you open the door. And you can't run away the whole of your life from this. Let's take responsibility as a nation. I mean, it depends on us to make these decisions. basis of the whole state. They believe that the beginning of the whole government is at family level. If we fail at family level, then we can't proceed to other levels. Let's manage to be the best guys. Let's not. If we business is we've seen this thing will happen. It's inevitable. But when it does, let's be more looking at solutions. And it's not a solution to run away. It's a solution to calm down, look at what is the issue, see how you can support, be honest, communicate, okay, before even we reach the path of contributing.
Ronald, I agree with you on one thing, just a quick one. I will take that. Where he said, when that happens, just sit, But most of the time, and you will ask most of the baby daddies out there, most of the time, and I know what women come after when you talk. When you sit with someone, when that happens, when you're not married or you're not in even a stable relationship, and you're pregnant, have that guy, sit him down, talk to him. What do you think we can do? Most of the time when men say, please, let's not keep this child, women always say, no, I'm going to keep this child. And I'll look after this child. But let me tell you this. After, when they've said that, it does not work like that. It always comes back to men. So, before you come up with that conclusion, before you say, yes, I'm going to, you can't. That child is going to need two parents. That's how it is. That's how God has made this whole thing. So, if you see from the beginning that George, sorry to use your name, or Ronald said, no, let's not keep it. Don't force it. If you think it's not worth it, if you have another way, please. But before you come to that conclusion and say, I'm going to take of this child, it's bigger than the way you think. From where you're pregnant, giving birth, and then looking after that child. So, if you find that George is saying, no, let's not keep it, and he has his reasons, and tell him no, or you guys agree and disagree, and then come up with as a team and say, no, we're not going to keep it, or we're keeping it. But by the time you say going to keep it, make sure the person that you have a child with is on board. Otherwise, those are the same people you're talking about that become irresponsibility, they just don't want to do anything, and they just run away. So, my sisters out there, please sit that man down, agree on something, and if he doesn't agree, please find a better way than you come with that answer saying, no, I'll keep the child and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, three quick things. The first one, the mothers, our wives, they should also always create an enabling environment for these kids to come home, okay? Because if you have a problem with your husband speaking with some other lady, always, because of a child, then create an environment where this child can actually come home and your husband no longer has to always call this lady to find out how the kid is. Also, my opinion, I think if the baby is there, you should always keep the child. There is no option of not keeping the child, my opinion. Then, to the mothers, okay, to all the baby mamas, I will simplify it to all the single mothers. Keep doing good, keep working hard. You're strong ladies.
Thank you. Just before I do my closing remarks, I just feel like there's something that we've not tackled a little bit. The narcissistic disorder. I think this is now very common. Ladies, I've done a good read about narcissistic disorder. And mostly, I think even in the past week, I had to do a very good read about narcissistic disorder, because I feel like most single mothers now are always saying that their baby daddies or their former relationships, they were in narcissistic relationships, and but trying to feed the narcissistic disorder into our topic today, minus all the other, is manipulation. Manipulation in And our topic today, I feel we've not tackled the fact that there are some men who are actually having baby mamas, but then they've manipulated them into being there as if they are not there. Like, you're out, but then as if you're out, as if you're in, right? So you have like your new relationship. The person is even unsure what is happening. So literally, you're manipulating both ladies into your new relationship. Someone thinking that the other person is not in the picture, while actually even the other person thinks he's still in the picture. So you're just there, and again, it for me comes off as very selfish, because bottom line, you've not even tried to. You're unclear about your own self, literally, because you need to be sure where you want to be. Are you still with the other lady, or you're in your new relationship? And the moment you streamline that, then we go back to everything else that we've said: the priorities, the boundaries, the honesty, and everything, right? But the moment you're not clear on where you are, so you literally, for example, we talked a lot about like someone being maybe, like he's mentioned, some ladies are feeding off their children because again they're not as privileged, probably they are not working, or they've not been just lucky to find jobs. They're also mentally incapacitated, by the way, like they can't think beyond that, right? Like, yeah, I mean, we don't think at the same frequency, whether we want it or not. You find that some people are comfortable to be actually housewives, and that is all they can be, right? And it's a talent, by the way. It's not to downplay it. It's a talent that people are just very good at taking care of children, and that is what they are. So someone has mastered that and feels that bottom line, by taking care of my child, I need to feed on that, just like Moga has said. So you find that a man is happy to manipulate you to just be in that space, because bottom line, if you walk out there, probably you're going to be seen. This creates a very cliche picture for the person in that relationship, because definitely you will never move on, because you're just going to be there and you're goalkeeping, because they are definitely bringing in something for the kids, and then you're comfortable to fit on that. But you're forgetting one thing: the moment he's not doing well and he stops bringing that, then you have no life. You can't take care of the children because again he doesn't have, but also you can't take care of yourself, right? So the moment you realize even you as the other wife, where exactly you are in this relationship are better for you, you need to realize, is it a form of manipulation? Because he knows if I put in that space, I have you in my five. I can always come. If I want to hit it, I'll hit it. If I don't want, I won't. But I know you're really there because I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to do all that. So for me, I feel that's a narcissistic behavior. But he's also having it. Like, you can't have it two-way, right? Bottom line, one of them is unhappy. And you both, at least I feel that you need to make one person unhappy and the other needs to know their stand. Because again, we know the heart wants what it wants, and it definitely wants to be someone, right? So other than that, am I supposed to give my closing remarks?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, for me, I'll just still go back to what I said from the start. When we talk about this topic, it is priorities, it is boundaries, it's honesty. The moment you miss out on those three, then you're really screwed. You're up for a bumpy ride, or call it a roller coaster, whatever you want to call it. Please, we've all agreed here that our priorities are the children, and let's keep it as children, right? The boundaries should be there. We've talked about open communication. We've talked about being able to, George has talked about the fact that if it's better, let the woman handle whatever it is for the peace of a family. Some others, Morgan didn't agree with that. However, one thing we know for sure, I personally agree with it, because it creates more peace. You don't have to explain yourself because everything is clear. And then for the mothers out there, please, yes, prioritize your children, because as long as he has decided to move, he's gone. Sometimes maybe not yet gone and you really want to get that feel, but anyhow, somehow you're so divided and it will make you very unhappy. Prioritize your mental health at the forefront of everything. The moment you prioritize your mental health, this will really go so smoothly and we shall all be happy in this. I wish you all the best, from the baby mamas to the baby daddies to the people in the new relationship. Let's make marriage a happier place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who has
I'll
something
do
to
mine,
add?
yeah.
Yes. And all
So,
around.
just jumping on the hitting, guys. Let's stop hitting the baby mamas. Baby mamas, stop hitting the baby daddies. Please, guys. Let's stick to the new relationship we're in. Yeah. But also, Actually, that also brings a lot of situation. You know, you already have a situation of the baby, and now you're mixing it with heating it. So, gosh. Anyway, enough of heating. Doctor said heating is a bit stuck on. Now, mine is, guys, do this and you'll thank me later. Let your wife deal with your babies out there. If you have one or two, let your wife deal with them. I honestly know that because it helps a lot. Because if she's your wife and if she's a real mother, she will take care of that child like that child is hers. Because a child is a child, you know. So, guys, do that. Call me after 1 year or something like, George, we want to thank you for this. You can take me out, I'll come. I'm free, I'll come with you guys. Whatever you guys want to do for me. But please do it and you'll thank me later. Let your wife deal with your children out there, with your baby mom. Actually, they don't even have to deal with your baby mama. They just have a way to communicate with the child. That's the most important thing. Because if your wife brings your child in the home, she feels she's comfortable because she's the one who has brought him or her in the house. So if most of the time we guys come up and say like, oh, I've brought my child back. She'll be like, you didn't inform me. Oh, I had to first inform me. But if she's the one making the decision, all you have to come and just find the baby there and you're happy. So that's one thing. Guys, let's take to respecting each other. If you're the man and you have someone's child in your home, let the other man also have access to the child. It's not about your wife. It's not about your girlfriend. It's actually about the child, and we spoke about that. It's the baby that it matters. The other things, those are all grown-ups. We're all grown-ups. We've done our own mistakes, but let's not bring it to the babies that we're having in our homes. Other than that, guys, we're here to support. If you ever want us, we're going to be giving you more. And I thank you guys for today. Please, Josh.
Thank you very much. My closing remarks. Let's all work together. Let the baby daddy, baby mama, let all work together for the sake of the child. The priority should be the child. That is the song we've sung today.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my closing.
How about the meeting? Is that okay?
Don't smash.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah, no, that was
Closing remarks. Guys, let's be faithful. It's very important. Underlying factor. Okay, you can't have your cake. You can't eat your cake and have it. Okay, if you decide you're out of that relationship, unless you are clearly polygamous, then still make it clear that you're polygamous. You will be having all these rights. Our grandfathers got away with that. They had all the land, all the cows, everything. And by then the cost of life wasn't as it was now. The responsibility today to take care of just one child has increased. The amount of time you have to give, the amount of care you have to give is high. Cost of living, cost of education, cost of medication. It's really high. And I'm not just saying you shouldn't be giving back to all these kids. It's okay. But if you're using family planning methods, consult. If you're already in this situation, always, I'm saying you had a child out of wedlock, you are starting a new relationship, or you have a stingy wife who won't accept any other connections, it's okay. You can get a mediator. Sometimes you need help in these things. Get someone who understands these things.
Yeah.
Discuss this with somebody, okay? And get a proper solution. And let all these things be out on the plane. Sometimes you have to document, okay? Maybe mothers who are fishy and funny and exploitative, you know, put it on record, okay? Because sometimes it may need to hit the court, okay? Stop the relationship with that baby mama. Okay, if you intend to, make it very clear for her that she's open, she can start a new relationship, she can have her life back. Okay, so all that is one of the 5. Remember the 5 things we talked about? Don't forget them. Communication, setting up routines, putting limits to boundaries and all that. Being responsible, doing your job, you know, as the father, taking the right decisions and all that. And the other is, what was the last one? Who can remind me the last one?
Being respectful and you mentioned that.
Yeah, be respectful, you know, be that guy. Have have some kind of respect in your life. If you run away, what does that mean about your mother and your father? You believe that some of you leave those kids. Take care of them. Stop this work. Okay? Let's take responsibility. And then let's stop this. You can't have baby mama, baby mama. One baby mama is enough job. Okay? Thank you very much. That's it from me. Back to you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much. A lot has been said. Well, I'll just speak on other things that they haven't mentioned, okay? There are consequences when you have sex as an adult, so make sure you should only indulge when you're ready. If you're not ready, condomize, right? Okay, zip it up, as you said, zip it up, condomize. There are so many other family planning methods that are available, both natural ones and the medically approved ones, okay? Utilize that. Or else, when you do that and you still get pregnant and you're not sure if you want to go ahead with the pregnancy and all, remember, abortion is illegal in Uganda. Do not abort, okay? Keep the child. Then, and finally, no child is a mistake, okay? By the time your parents choose to, whether one of them have agreed or not, if they choose to keep the pregnancy, it's not by mistake that they're keeping that pregnancy, all right? You're a very legitimate child, so do not fear for that. Then I want to thank all the people who have communally, in Africa we communally raise children. We've seen men who have raised children that are not theirs, yeah? We've seen women raise children that are not birthed by them. I want to give you a special thanks. Okay, to the judges, you have done a great job. Judge means grandma and granddad, okay? Yeah, where we have to chase career, I speak on both male and female, we have to chase our career path. We're having disagreements with baby daddy drama, baby mama drama. The judge's home is always a neutral ground, yeah? And when I speak judge, it's on both the parties' ends. We leave the children there, try to make. Yeah, I want to thank those who have adopted and you've taken up women who have come to you even when they're pregnant, and you still marry a woman who's carrying a child of another man. Somebody hinted here. Take care of them equally as if they were your child, alright? Same thing goes to the men as well. We thank you for listening out to us today. We hope you have listened, you implement what you have learned today. We are short of our discussion today. Kindly drop a comment.
Yes.
Drop a comment first. Before you drop a comment, like, subscribe.
Yes.
Follow, all right? Yeah, follow our channel. We'll always be here to share with you. It's just a channel for sharing, okay? Our discussions are very real. We do not lie. We try as much as possible to make our discussion real and homely for you to apply in your day-to-day life. So if you feel there's something you want us to share, feel free to drop a comment, a like, if anything of areas of improvement, your opinion matters to us. Feel free to drop it and leave it in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you. Be very careful. Take care. God bless you all. Bye.
Bye.